morning and happy hump day. We like to call it Wellness Wednesday, mornings with Luann and Tim. A huge thank you to Casey's Security this morning for sponsoring the show for us. We appreciate it, you guys. You're the best.
It snowed.
It snowed. It snowed. Yes, it did. But you know, we're still not as bad as north of here.
Why? What happened? I wasn't paying attention.
Goodness, there was a snow squall warning, and it was like swirling and whirling, and just like, I mean, north, like as in Gooley, as in Hayden.
Oh, like close to us.
Oh, yeah. It was just crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, on Sunday,
How did this us? It's so close.
Right? Jim actually left our house to go on a quad ride on Sunday afternoon, and like I went out shopping, came back, and he was already home, so I thought, oh my gosh, something happened. He broke down or something. He said, no, there was too much snow.
Wow.
There was like 1.5 feet on 4th line. Wow. And we had nothing here. We have something now. It's about this much.
Then it sucks to live on 4th line.
Apparently.
Have you, wait a minute though, not really.
No.
Thompson's Farms.
Yes.
Did it.
Yes. So much fun.
So cool.
You have to go.
But the drive out there, I haven't been along 3rd line in a long time.
Right?
Who's building those houses up there?
Really? That's what I said. I said to Jim, let's drive slow and check out the hood.
Smokes.
Nice homes up there.
Beautiful neighborhood now.
Absolutely.
Used to be farmland.
Yeah, not anymore.
So, today is Marooned Without a Compass Day.
I know how that feels.
Well, here's the quote. It says, do you find yourself going around in circles? Do you feel hopelessly lost? Do you know where you are? If any of these questions describe your current state of being, then you are in tune to this special day.
What does that give you, though? Why is you are in tuned to that special
because
day?
Because it means you're all messed up. But you know what, though? It also suggests, look at it another way. How fabulous to be marooned without a compass. You just sit back.
Oh, enjoy the ride.
You're relaxed, busy lifestyle. You can sit back and enjoy being marooned.
Go with the flow.
If you were marooned without a compass, there are ways you can navigate. Can you name some ways to navigate without a compass, Luann?
If you're in the forest, you can look for moss on the trees because the moss will be on the north side of the tree.
Shut up. That's absolutely correct.
I was born and raised in Espanola. Of course I know that.
Wow.
No, my dad and my brothers are huge, and my family, huge hunter fishermen people.
And the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, so you can always look at the sun.
Right, that's another one.
And then,
unless it's in the middle of the night.
But then you look at stars.
Yes. Do you know anything about stars?
Not really. I think that Venus is a bright star, and is it called the North Star, or is the North Star a different star? I think the brightest star in the sky is Venus.
I think you're right.
I said no. Oh.
Or Jupiter. Jim
really?
knows. Jim knows all about.
No, I would be lost at night.
Yeah, I would be lost for sure. Hey, you know what?
What?
Last night, ABC ran Little Mermaid live.
What do you mean? How did I miss that?
Well, you know, me too. I just was flipping through and I thought, oh my gosh, live? What? Sure enough. What a great production. I didn't watch the whole thing, but
wait.
Yeah.
Somebody famous was who was the guy?
Queen Latifah was Ursula. John Stamos
was
one
John
of the actors.
Stamos, apparently. Yeah. I was reading an article, but I didn't understand that it was on last night.
Yeah, it was on last night, and they actually intercut it with some of the footage from the movie. But Queen Latifah, her entrance as Ursula, my goodness.
I wonder if there's a way to find
that.
I wonder if there's a way to find it.
I'm sure.
Like to see it somewhere, even though it's broadcast live. Do you think they have it somewhere where you can see it after the fact? I'm going to investigate it. Yeah.
Because it should be fun.
Because I like all those people.
I know, right?
John Stamos is a good singer.
Is he?
He's been on Broadway and everything.
What? Really?
Yeah.
I thought he was just handsome.
No, he used to sing in a band too.
Really?
He had a band. He put together a band and he sang.
Oh, yeah. I had no idea.
Yeah, he sings.
The things I learned from you, Mr.
I know.
Murphy.
Did you know that Olivia Newton-John just auctioned off her outfits?
I had heard that she was on Entertainment Tonight actually talking about
she looks amazing.
Her pants. That's all I knew.
Okay, she auctioned off more than that. I think she auctioned off some stuff from one of her music videos, Let's Get Physical. She auctioned off some stuff from Xanadu, and then the most iconic though was the stuff from Grease. She kept that outfit, the leather jacket and the satin pants, in her closet, in her own. She said it kept in her everyday closet since 1978.
Imagine that.
She said that she had to be sewn into it on set and the zipper is still broken.
No
Yeah,
way.
hasn't been repaired yet.
Seriously.
How cute is that?
And she was jumping around in those
It went up
pants.
for auction, and it was an anonymous buyer at first, but the person who bought it outed themselves.
Did they? Oh, that's
Sarah
fun.
Blakely, the founder of Spanx.
Oh, that's
The form-fitting
hilarious.
undergarments.
You need those to put those on.
She was the anonymous buyer. She only got the pants. Somebody else got the jacket.
Right.
She paid $162,000 for the pants.
For cancer.
It all went to the Olivia Newton-John Cancer Wellness and Research Center in Melbourne,
Awesome.
Australia. So just the pants alone, $162,000. She was out for dinner with her husband, and I guess this is Sarah Blakely, was out for dinner with her husband, and somebody messaged her or something about the auction, and so she put a bid on it.
No way.
And then she got a call back later saying, you won the pants. She said to her husband, honey, I won. He said, you didn't win. You spent the most money.
That's
She also bought the pink ladies jacket that Olivia
Oh,
wore.
I love that one.
Yeah, she's gonna put the Spanx. She's gonna frame the satin pants, and put them on display at the Spanx headquarters.
I would so do that in a minute if I had a headquarters.
Olivia Newton-John, she said she's been a fan. This is Sarah Blakely again. Has been a fan of Olivia Newton-John's since she was a young girl. Olivia Newton-John sang at her wedding.
What?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't
what a
that
small
cool?
world. How much do you think your pants would go for?
I'd have to pay somebody to take them off my hands.
Especially the ones that are so dirty they stand up in the corner by themselves.
Yes.
Well, that's interesting. Good for Olivia Newton-John.
Do you know what else happened on this date, November 6th?
What?
In 1962?
What?
Think about it. November the 6th, 1962.
JFK.
Me, I was born. It's my birthday.
Happy birthday, you.
I was looking at who else's birthday it is.
Who?
Sally Field.
Oh, I loved Sally.
73 years old today.
Wow.
Fred Penner,
Fred Penner.
Canadian, 73
Yes.
years old today.
Holy, you're a youngster.
I am. 50, how old am I?
58?
57. That's how old I am.
57.
You know who else was born on this day? A guy named James Naismith. He was born in 1861 in Almonte, Ontario. Guess what he did? He invented basketball.
What?
The game of basketball was invented by a Canadian guy.
I knew it was Canadian, but I didn't know it was James.
His name was
Jimmy,
James
way to go,
Naismith.
man.
So he was 30 years old. It was 1891. He was working at the International YMCA Training School in Springfield, Massachusetts, and that's when he invented basketball.
That's crazy.
He also invented the football helmet.
Really?
Yes, two things that I have never really touched in my life.
Me neither. I had no use for anything sports oriented.
I'm glad he
at all.
didn't. I'm glad he didn't make basketball helmets because that would just be silly.
Yeah, they look kind of goofy, wouldn't they? Although you can mohawk them, like the kids' helmets now.
They
They're
do,
so
right?
cute.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So there you go. That's lots going on November the 6th.
Andy Cohen, who hosts the Watch What Happens Live show,
Yes.
was on.
He's the guy that Kathy Griffin and
Yes.
they have a feud.
Kathy Griffin and several people have.
He fired her and it
Yeah.
took her time spot or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, Andy Cohen, what about him?
So anyway, he was on the 4th hour of the Today Show with Hoda Kotb and Tim McGraw, and he says that he's lost 12 pounds, and you know what he did? He
Stopped eating.
He started to watch what he's eating.
Okay.
But I didn't realize this because it's on too late. He would have a cocktail with his guests live. So every night he'd have, and you can imagine if there's one, there's maybe a couple. So he actually stopped drinking alcohol,
And that helped him lose weight.
and that helped him lose 12 pounds.
What do you think does he mix his alcohol with soda pop? Because if you do that.
Yeah, that's bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
I
a
know
mixed
people-
drink, so I don't know.
I know people who've lost like 10 pounds, 12 pounds just from cutting soda out of their diet.
Oh
Like,
my gosh, pop?
soda, yeah.
And I don't drink pop. I wish I did because I'd like to lose 12 pounds right now. By tomorrow. Can
You know
that-
how you
can
know
that
how
happen?
I can help you lose weight. Go on the Urban Trail Adventure with the Sioux Cycling Club
that's
to raise money for
hard
the
work.
United Way.
Awesome.
That
Good
was a
segue.
Those are my first guests. And then later on, my buddy Aaron Gravel, our friend Aaron
Yes.
Gravel from Sault Ste. Marie Fire Services here because this is, I believe it's Carbon Monoxide Awareness Week. So Aaron's going to talk to us about.
And happy birthday to my friend.
Thank you. We'll be back with Peter and Patrick to talk about the Urban Trail Adventure Ride coming up this weekend. So stay with us.
been celebrating our 65th anniversary, dating back to services originating in our community in 1954, which is quite some time ago. It's been a great opportunity this past year to recognize the pioneers, the stakeholders that worked tirelessly to create what we are today. I'm grateful for everything that the families 65 years ago and the people that assembled the organization have done in order for us to achieve the success that we're experiencing 65 years later.
In your home, lighting is just as important as style.
With PowerView Motorization from Hunter Douglas, you can schedule your shades to light up the room, create privacy, or both, automatically. No hands required.
So your shades will always be in the right place at the right time in style. And it's only from Hunter Douglas.
Look at all the Irish names here. Peter and Timothy and Patrick. Hi, Peter.
Good morning,
Hi,
Tim.
Pat.
Good morning.
So Pete's here from the urban, well, you're actually here from the Sault Cycling Club.
I'm here from two standpoints. So
Okay.
I'm with the Sault Cycling Club.
Yes.
I'm also here as part of the Ontario Public Service United Way campaign.
Lovely. And Pat, you are here as the chairman of this year's...
The campaign chair of this
campaign
year's
chair of this
United
year.
Way campaign.
Okay, so let's talk about, first of all, on hold, United Way.
Yes.
The campaign, your goal for this year is?
Goal for this year is 1.25 million. We're in the fourth year of a 5-year campaign, and the goal to raise 6.25 million.
Okay, so to stay on track, we need to get 1.25 million this year.
That's correct, yeah.
Started around September?
Yeah, September is really when the campaign starts, when really people start getting interested and having the workplace campaigns.
So workplace campaign, this is what brought you to the table, right?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
So I work for the Ontario Public Service, and we have a workplace campaign, and I have for many years. And so I have a collaboration with the Sault Cycling Club, something else that I'm involved in, to do a fundraising activity for our workplace campaign. We probably have over a dozen different activities that are raising money for United Way through the office, and this is one of those activities.
Very cool. Do you have a lot of this going on in the community?
We do have a lot of it going on, and it's really exciting that people get involved. And the workplace campaigns are really the thing that, of course, raises money, but gets people excited and involved as well.
Right.
Yeah.
So if people, if someone is watching by now and they work somewhere or they have a company and they want to lend their support, all they have to do is get a hold of the United Way and say,
Absolutely.
hey, we'd like to do something at our work to raise money.
Absolutely. There's lots of fun events. We always are hearing about new ideas about what people are doing in their workplace campaigns, and it's exciting to get people involved, keeping them involved.
Now funds, this is important to talk about. The United Way Fund. So all the money that you guys are raising, It's staying local, is that right?
100% local. I think there's still a misconception out there that the money goes elsewhere, it goes nationwide, but all of your donations stay local. It's really important.
Okay, and the purpose, one of the main focuses of the United Way is to reduce poverty.
Poverty reduction.
Okay.
And so that is a complex issue, of course. We have the 3 categories that the United Way knows are strategic in reducing poverty. That's workforce entry, our essential services division, and our food security division as well.
Right, now we've had Mike Delfrey on the show. He actually, thank you, Mike, for the birthday wishes. He sent me birthday wishes on Facebook Live, so
Very good.
Appreciate that, Michael. Mike's been on the show talking about the work that Harvest Algoma's been doing. That's one of the latest projects, right?
Yeah.
So some of the funds are going towards that.
Absolutely, and you can dedicate your funds to go directly to the Food Resource Center
nice
if you like. Yes, and so that's the newest bricks and mortar, most exciting thing in the last year that the United Way has got into.
Right.
It's about rescuing food, teaching people mainly in poverty about how to preserve food and how to cook food and
They do everything. Pickling and everything up there,
preserving, yeah, lots of good stuff going on up there.
And also taking food from around the community that would otherwise go to waste and actually using it for sustenance.
Absolutely, yeah. It's something like 40% of the food in the community goes to waste.
I was asked you about the results of the Great Pumpkin Rescue.
Yeah, I believe it was the biggest that we've had so far. Lots of people got involved, and you probably saw pumpkins in bins all over the city.
So GFL did all of the composting so that nothing goes into the
Correct. They collected at the Cambrian Mull as well.
So it doesn't go into the, what do you call that? The
landfill.
Landfill, right. And that saves the methane gases from hurting the environment and all that stuff. So that, and then the other pumpkins that were not carved went to food.
Rescued food, essentially. And you can use pumpkins for a lot of different things. You'd be surprised.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so let's talk about the event that's coming up, Peter. This is called the Urban Trail Adventure.
Yes, so the Urban Trail Adventure Ride is happening on Saturday, November 9th, this coming Saturday from 2 to 5 p.m.
Oh, look, we got a poster up right now. That's nice. Thank you, Mike.
And there's a poster. And so what that ride is, it's going to be a ride of the Hub Trail. It starts at one of our community partners with the Cycling Club, Outspoken Brewing downtown.
Oh, that's a good place to start.
It's a fabulous place to start, and we happen to end there as well.
It's a great place to start and finish.
So we will be doing a guided ride around the Hub Trail, and with that there will be a food break about halfway along. We have another community partner,
doing the food?
Feeding Your Soul Cafe.
Really?
Is providing the food at the halfway point as well as at the end.
At the end as well.
So
you get fed.
You get fed.
Like that.
So then we will be ending up after approximately 2 hours. You should be around the Hub Trail ride, which is
That's all it
23
takes,
kilometers.
about 2 hours?
Yep. It may be a little bit longer given that white stuff on the trail right now.
You're gonna go. It's gonna go whether there's snow on the ground or not. You're doing this.
We will go rain or shine or snow or sleet or whatever.
Just like the mailmen's.
And if you're a little bit shy about riding in that kind of weather, Outspoken is a fabulous place to go and hang out, and there will be food there as well.
So if you would rather spend your entry fee, which I think you said is $25 for one person.
For a single and $45 for a family.
If you'd rather spend $25 to support the United Way and just sit at the brewery and have some food, then by all means go. But ultimately, you want to get out and enjoy the ride.
Yes.
And how many kilometers you said? How many kilometers?
23 kilometers is around the Hub Trail.
And I said 23 kilometers. Is that long? Because I don't, it's not as long as it sounds. Because you said you had 8-year-olds doing that ride in the spring.
In the springtime, we had 8-year-olds doing it. So there's a lot of families. The Canada Day weekend, there's a Hub Trail ride, and it's full of families doing the Hub Trail. So.
Right. And the Sault Cycling Club, you've been around for a long time now.
Since the early 70s.
It's amazing. And how many members do you have right now, do you figure?
We are right now about 300 members in the community.
And so when you do fundraising, because you've done some fundraising before for the actual club, that's about trail maintenance, right? Because who do you work alongside? Like what other?
So our trail system is sitting on other people's land. So we work very closely with the Kinsman Club, with the Conservation Authority, and as well the Ministry of Natural Resources and Forestry owns a chunk of land. So when you go to Hiawatha on the trails, the fish hatchery. So we have 3 different landowners that we work with there to maintain trails on their land.
So the deal is that you guys say we're going to use the trails, but we're going to maintain them and take care of the property, and that's where the funds, like your membership funds and your drives go, right?
That's right, for the cycling club.
For the cycling club.
This ride on Saturday is completely different because we're doing it for the United Way.
Which is fabulous.
Absolutely.
How do we register?
You can go on to our website, so www.saultcyclingclub.ca. So all one word.
SAULT?
Yes.
SaultCyclingClub.ca.
And I think that poster may have had the address on it
It's
as
up
well.
again, there you go.
And so there's an online registration there and
That's all it
payment and
takes.
all that stuff. Yep.
You can pay right online too?
Yes.
Fantastic. Can people, now because there's food involved, are you asking people to register in advance? Because your caterer needs to know numbers, right?
Yes, I am, because I'm going to talk to the caterer very shortly.
Okay, so is there a deadline for registration?
There isn't, so we guess
But you're
that
hoping
people will register a little bit later, but we are hoping people will register early so we have enough food for
But
everyone.
it's this Saturday.
Yes.
And this is Wednesday. See, it's Wellness Wednesday. That's how you can get healthy by riding your bicycle and also support the United Way and help stamp out poverty in the Sault Ste. Marie Algoma district.
Absolutely.
Okay, so once again, $25 for individual, $45 for a family. That includes your food and the ride. Beverages are on you.
Beverages are on you, and you will get a tax receipt as well for the charitable portion of the cost.
Win, 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 win.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Are you going to be there?
I will, actually. I'll show up, for sure.
Are you going to be
I don't know if I'll be, I don't know if I'll be
He might say a
cycling,
few
but
words to start the ride.
I can
You
definitely
might be
do that.
sitting it outspoken for a couple of hours.
Yeah, I'll be the one out outspoken.
Making sure that everything goes smoothly and the food arrives and everything looks
Absolutely.
nice.
I can do
Yes.
that. For
Yeah,
sure.
And
it's
there's
like
enough
staging a
tables.
house when you're salesman.
That's exactly
In
right.
case you don't know, Pat McGuire's a real estate agent, and that's why you see his face around town. And what's your day job?
I work for the Ministry of Natural Resources and Forestry.
And so you did a workplace thing. This is your workplace thing for
Yes.
for the United Way. Fantastic. Thanks for being here, guys.
Great.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Have
Thanks for
fun
having
on
us.
Saturday.
Thank you.
And we'll be back with Luann after this on Mornings with Luann and Tim.
This is On TV.
In your home, lighting is just as important as style.
With PowerView Motorization from Hunter Douglas, you can schedule your shades to light up the room, create privacy, or both, automatically. No hands required.
So your shades will always be in the right place at the right time in style. And it's only from Hunter Douglas.
That's good.
You know, new George Michael song came out.
But he's hang on, he's dead.
Yes, he died 3 years ago.
Is it okay?
Yeah, and it's
Did he have a heart attack? He had a heart attack.
he did, or was it an accidental
Was it an
overdose?
overdose?
I think it might have been an accidental overdose.
I think it was a heart attack, but Elton John said it was he was in our liver. He died of something, but it was all about his...
He died of something, yeah. You mostly do.
I remember Elton John just saying that they tried to warn him that his lifestyle was going to kill him.
Oh, really?
And that he didn't want to be here anymore. Maybe.
Oh.
Yeah, that he basically was so unwell mentally and everything.
He was just done
with life. Anyway, sorry.
Well, he should
what's
be
the
very
song?
proud. This is how we want you to get high is the song. So it's one that he already, yeah. And it's for a holiday rom-com.
I don't think he died of an overdose.
No.
If that's a song that just came out. I believe it was a heart attack.
It's going to be featured in The Last Christmas, which is a holiday rom-com.
The Last Christmas. That doesn't sound like a fun
It's a
romantic
rom-com.
comedy. If it's The Last Christmas, it sounds like someone else is going to die.
Well, somebody did die at Easter, and then came back again and was born
The
again
Last
on Christmas.
doesn't sound like a romantic comedy. It sounds like the end of the world.
But does that not want you to just tune in to see how they're going to manage around that?
Maybe it's like The Last Christmas alone.
The Last Christmas, you loser. Maybe that's the name of the new one.
It's The Last Christmas, and now I am self-coupled.
Self-coupled.
Isn't that the expression
Yeah,
you
that
heard
sounds so sexual, doesn't it? Somehow. Switching gears here for you.
Good, thank you.
On the Late Late Show with James Corden, he's so brilliant. And him and Jimmy Fallon are my favorites. Hillary and Chelsea Clinton surprised him while he was doing his monologue.
No way.
They just walked right out. He seriously has said he had no clue. So they were talking about, Donald Trump.
Of course they were.
Yeah. So Hillary says to James Corden, I'm really fed up with your Trump jokes. Every single night, she said. If anyone should be telling Trump jokes, it's me.
And did she do any or no?
Well, she said, she referred to a New York Times article about Mr. Trump's Twitter account and how 6,000 tweets were him attacking people. And she said, and only 3,000 were about my emails. Isn't that a good sport? That's hilarious she did that. I think that's awesome.
I don't suppose she did any jokes about her husband, did she?
Probably not. No, I'm thinking that would take a minute. Or 15.
There's still some Epstein stuff going around now, eh? There's lots of stuff brewing with the Epstein case.
With Clinton?
Yeah.
No. I didn't read any of that.
There was a lady who was interviewed on, I forget what it was called, and I saw her on Twitter talking about it, and she was saying 3 years ago, they had the scoop. They had breaking news on this whole Epstein thing. They had stuff on, all the names that are going around, Clinton and all that stuff. She said, she as a reporter was saying, like, this is going on, this is happening. We could be uncovering one of the largest child pedophile rings, and they squashed the story.
Really?
I think it was ABC. She was working for ABC at the time, and they wouldn't let the story go out. And she said, she said, I had it. I had everything 3 years ago. So, and she said, Clinton, was one of the names that was there in her stuff. So, I don't know. How do you get to the bottom of that now?
Well, who's going to believe her?
Well, who's going to come forward? Although, if people come forward like they are against Trump, did you hear about that guy? He came back. He already had talked to the impeachment people.
Yes. He came back and
4 more
changed
pages and changed his testimony and said, "Oh, you know what? After thinking about it some more."
Bronman, something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously,
that's not like you're just doing a potion. Bronman, Stodman. He came back and gave 4 more pages of testimony and shot down everything.
Twisted,
and
totally.
Said, as a matter of fact, now that I think about it, maybe I did actually.
As I read the other testimonies, I suddenly recall that I am a liar and didn't tell you the truth the first time because I'm scared.
If you want the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
Yes, they can. It's coming up right after this commercial break when Luann has the news on Mornings with Luann and Tim.
Ontario established a $100 million affordability fund to help Ontarians who don't qualify for low-income conservation programs ease the burden of their electricity bill. Whether you rent or own your home, as long as you pay your electric bill, you could qualify. There are 3 levels of support available. The first is a home energy kit with upgrades like smart power bars and LED light bulbs. The second includes Energy Star appliances that help keep things cool during the hot summer months. The third is for electrically heated homes so that your power bills don't break the bank during those long Canadian winters. Plus, all upgrades, including installation, are completely free of charge. Visit affordabilityfund.org or call 1-855-494-FUND to find out if you qualify.
It's hunting season, so this is probably pretty stupid, right? Actually, hunting accidents kill somewhere around 2 people a year in Ontario. Smoking kills 16,000 a year. So, what's really stupid?
To the start of Monday evening's council meeting, Councillor Luc Dufour inquired about the city's stance on the recent news of Agero closing, laying off 300 local employees whose jobs are being moved to Tennessee and Arizona. City CAO for Community Development and Enterprise Services, Tom Vare, said that both the city and the Economic Development Corporation are on board with helping these people out. Vare said that the call center has agreed to give the city a list of the skill sets of its Sioux workers, helping transition them into other job roles in the community. Vare added that transition programs and possible retraining programs will be considered as well. City Council voted unanimously to write a bylaw requiring all retailers in the city that offer shopping carts to implement a cart management system or face penalties for not doing so. The resolution was brought forward by Councillor Matthew Shoemaker, who made it clear he was talking about Walmart, who, instead of making an effort to collect carts scattered throughout the city themselves, leaves the job to city workers. Councillor Lisa Vezo-Allen pointed out that people with disabilities or economic disadvantages use shopping carts to carry food home, urging Council to dig into the larger issues behind this crisis and help people obtain food in a safer manner. Also, City Council unanimously passed a bylaw allowing veterans with a Poppy license plate free all-day parking in all municipal lots and on-street parking spaces on Remembrance Day. Right now, veterans are allowed 2 hours of free parking throughout the year. Ontario is releasing its fall economic statement this afternoon amid concerns of potential cuts. Premier Doug Ford's Progressive Conservatives have said the key fiscal update will detail their efforts to balance the books. Finance Minister Rod Phillips has said the statement will show the province will beat its own $10.3 billion deficit projection. The government has also said the mini-budget will include measures aimed at bolstering job growth and strengthening the economy. Last month, Phillips tried to ease concerns the statement would include cuts similar to those in the government's fall update last year. That document included the elimination of several independent watchdogs and pulled support for a French language university. The province has subsequently reached an agreement with the federal government to fund the post-secondary school. The Supreme Court of Canada is set to start to hear a case today brought by Uber with potentially significant implications for the gig economy. The company has challenged an Ontario Court of Appeal decision that found the company's contract clause that requires arbitration rather than allowing class action lawsuits was invalid and unconscionable. The lower court ruling came about after David Heller, a driver for Uber Eats, tried to launch a class action lawsuit to force the company to recognize drivers as employees and provide them a minimum wage, vacation pay, and other protections in the Employment Standards Act. Uber successfully had the proposed class action stayed because of a clause in the contract that requires all disputes go through mediation in the Netherlands. Ontario's highest court ruled in November last year that the clause amounts to illegally outsourcing an employment standard. The case comes amid wider scrutiny about what obligations technology firms have to the people who find work through their platforms and whether they are employees. Uber, in its appeal to the Supreme Court, claims that the agreements entered into with drivers are licensing agreements, not employment agreements, and that the company had to establish a uniform global dispute resolution system because of the enormous number of drivers on the platform.
This is On TV. That's good.
Recently, the Government of Ontario established a $100 million affordability fund to help Ontarians who don't qualify for low-income conservation programs ease the burden of their electricity bill. Whether you rent or own your home, as long as you pay your electric bill, you could qualify. There are 3 levels of support available. The first is a home energy kit with upgrades like smart power bars and LED light bulbs. The second includes Energy Star appliances that help keep things cool during the hot summer months. The third is for electrically heated homes so that your power bills don't break the bank during those long Canadian winters. Plus, all upgrades, including installation, are completely free of charge. Visit affordabilityfund.org or call 1-855-494-FUND to find out if you qualify.
This past year, we've been celebrating our 65th anniversary, dating back to services originating in our community in 1954, which is quite some time ago. It's been a great opportunity this past year to recognize the pioneers, the stakeholders that worked tirelessly to create what we are today. I'm grateful for everything that the families 65 years ago and the people that assembled the organization have done in order for us to achieve the success that we're experiencing 65 years later.
In your home, lighting is just as important as style.
With PowerView Motorization from Hunter Douglas, you can schedule your shades to light up the room, create privacy, or both, automatically. No hands required.
So your shades will always be in the right place at the right time in style. And it's only from Hunter Douglas.
Recently, the Government of Ontario established a $100 million affordability fund to help Ontarians who don't qualify for low-income conservation programs ease the burden of their electricity bill. Whether you rent or own your home, as long as you pay your electric bill, you could qualify. There are 3 levels of support available. The first is a home energy kit with upgrades like smart power bars and LED light bulbs. The second includes Energy Star appliances that help keep things cool during the hot summer months. The third is for electrically heated homes so that your power bills don't break the bank during those long Canadian winters. Plus, all upgrades, including installation, are completely free of charge. Visit affordabilityfund.org or call 1-855-494-FUND to find out if you qualify.
And some extra people wishing Mr. Murphy a happy birthday. Mike Delfrey, Keith, some guy named Keith, and Michelle Prevost and Susan Reinacke, all on Facebook.
Happy birthday to me.
Yeah, look how
I
cute.
got a Sparky from Aaron Gravel. Happy birthday to me, and I got it. Look at my Sault Ste. Marie.
And
Fire
it's an
Services.
official one.
Wait until you see
Yeah,
the
look
back.
at this. Isn't that awesome?
From my friends at the
He
fire
has a friend.
station.
He's happy he's got a friend.
Because I know how to put out a fire with a fire extinguisher, thanks to my friend Aaron Gravel, who's on the show next.
Absolutely. And he's on today for
Carbon monoxide
yes.
awareness. Because I
Yes.
think it's like Carbon Monoxide Awareness Week. Because it's like when the clocks go back, that's when they say you're supposed to change your
Yes,
batteries and
yes.
stuff. So they're just making you aware of the dangers of what can happen with carbon monoxide poisoning, and
Because you don't know what's happening.
you don't know because you don't.
You just
smell.
feel like maybe flu-ish or
Is that what it
headache-y.
is?
Yeah, sometimes. But sometimes you just go to sleep. You just feel sleepy.
Test
He's very
monthly.
cute.
That's what Sparky says.
Is that right?
Look at that. It's got a little.
Oh, test monthly. Cute.
Texture alarm.
I'm going to have to do that now because I'm feeling very guilty.
I didn't change my batteries. Keith, right now, go and change the batteries on our.
And then go to my house and change mine. Okay? Thanks, honey. Appreciate that. Lori Greiner.
I don't know who that is.
On Shark Tank. Do you watch Shark
Okay,
Tank?
is that the ones where their inventors show up and
Yes,
they say,
yeah.
Okay.
So she actually is also doing a podcast with Jan Arden. Apparently, it's brilliant. But this one in particular, the story I read this morning, there was a presenter there who was giving or hawking a 6-day power pack kind of a anti or probiotic, a health program.
Oh, he was trying to get that, like, this is my invention kind of thing with my business.
And you should try it. And his name was Sarath Malpati.
Okay.
And she called him out. Now, generally, she's pretty easygoing. I don't watch it a lot, but she's fairly easygoing. But she said to him at one point, you know what? Every single question I ask you, you never have looked at me.
Ooh.
She said, you look at Cuban, you look at the other guy. She said, you never look at me. And when she was saying that to him, he was looking at Mark Cuban. He would not look at her.
There
so
he is,
she
that's the
said,
guy.
yeah, so she said, finally, you know what? Even if I thought I was behind this, she said, because I think it's a great idea, she said, I sense a little chauvinism here. I'm out.
Whoa, Sarath got red.
Boo! Could you imagine? I'd be like, hamana, right? Like on television. Like, look at the girl, for goodness sake. And she tried several times. She said, I purposely tried over and over and insinuated that she was interested enough that she would invest money. But he would not look at her.
Wow.
So all the guys on the panel were like,
eye contact is hard for some people, but he was looking at the other guys though.
and you know what? You don't have to like eye contact. I'm a freak about that, but you can look in her general direction.
We've done an exercise before in youth engagement exercises. I saw somebody do this once. This is wild. You sit in a circle, and one by one, you have to get up out of the like cross-legged on the ground. Okay, you get up and you have to walk around the circle and make eye contact and land eye to eye with every single person in the circle. You would be amazed at how many people cannot do it.
I bet.
Or would take a pass, just saying, I know I can't do this.
Yeah.
I would get anxiety from having to make eye contact. It's wild.
I have a brother like that.
Do you?
Yeah, he's just,
I just stare. If I can't look in your eyes, I'll just look in between your eyes.
Me too. I do the same thing.
I have no idea what your eye color is. I've always just stared at your eyebrows.
I always
this whole
look at
time.
that big zit that's on your forehead.
Stop it! I have one right there. I can't believe my birthday. You mentioned my
What?
pimple in my eyebrow.
Oh, it's gone now.
Well,
you don't
see.
even have one.
All right, listen.
I wasn't being cruel.
Aaron Gravel is next. He likes me. That's nice. So
Yes, he does.
He's going to talk about. We already talked about it. We're going to go to commercial. Come back with Aaron Gravel. Don't go anywhere. It's my birthday.
Here, your education is everything, supporting your true sense of purpose. Here, you'll learn from professors who will understand you, who will challenge you, and offer you support on your journey. Here, you'll study programs built on real values: business, technology, science, arts and social sciences, always geared to make a positive difference. Here, you'll have a chance to assist in faculty research, leaving your mark wherever you go. Here, you'll focus on what matters to you and impact the world around you. Algoma University. Come take a closer look.
Look who came to join me on my birthday. Aaron Gravel.
Thanks for having me.
No, thank you for coming. So is this Carbon Monoxide Awareness Week or Day? What is it?
Week.
It's this Carbon Monoxide Awareness Week.
Yeah, so in November, every year in Ontario, from November 1st to the 7th is Carbon Monoxide Awareness Week.
Why do we need carbon monoxide? Why do we need to be aware of carbon monoxide, Aaron Gravel?
Well, if you've looked outside recently, the last couple of days, there's that white stuff on the ground, and we know that wood stoves are starting to be used, and furnaces are firing up, and these are all things that can cause carbon monoxide in our homes.
Oh!
And the reason we need to be aware is because you don't know what's in your home unless you have one of these.
Because carbon monoxide is odorless, and you don't see it, and you don't taste it.
Colorless, odorless, tasteless.
That's a dangerous gas.
Yeah, invisible. They call it the silent killer.
I don't like the sound of that. No. Does it stay low? Where does it sit, like in the?
You know what?
Does it pile up? How does it work?
We get that question all the time. So propane sinks low because it's a little heavier. Natural gas goes up because it's lighter. And carbon monoxide is a lot like oxygen.
So it's just
it mixes freely.
Oh, that's not good.
Yes, so we can have carbon monoxide alarms down low. They can be halfway up the wall like how a thermostat is, or they can even be on a ceiling like your smoke alarms are.
Right.
So when you see that people ask all the time, are the combo alarms any good? You know, the smoke and CO.
Because I have that on my main floor.
So do I.
Okay.
And you know they're just as good as long as they're CSA or ULC certified. Then we're okay with them.
All right. I also have the one that plugs into my wall in my bedroom.
Right, like this one.
That's like mine's bigger though, and it glows. It's got like a nice thing on the front.
Have you checked the date on it?
Keith, can you go down to the bedroom and check the date on the? Okay, so what?
There's a little date. See, look, I even highlighted this one.
You did. This one's good until this one's expired.
No, it's not.
Why?
The date on the back, that's the date that it's made. So you have 10 years from the date on the back. So the date that
so
it's
much
made.
to learn about this.
And actually, carbon monoxide alarm is a little different. You have to read the instructions. So this one is good for 10 years. Some of the older ones are only good for 5 years. Some of them are good for 7 years, and some are 10. So carbon monoxide, you really have to check the manufacturer's instructions. Same with smoke alarms, but a good rule of thumb with smoke alarms, they're 10 years. That's a good way to go by them. But carbon monoxide alarms are a little different.
And this one says low battery, one quick beep with red LED flash every 60 seconds. That tells you you're back because there's a battery in here as well as being plugged in.
Yeah,
so if your power goes out, it still does the thingy.
That's right. And you still have to change the batteries in these too.
You do, even though it's...
Because then...
when you're checking the date on it, could you change the batteries in the plug-in one too? Because I don't know if I've done that lately. End of unit life, 10 years.
Yeah, so these smoke alarms won't tell you if they're expired. Carbon monoxide alarms, as soon as you power them up, there's an internal clock that goes and ticks, and when it reaches that 10-year mark, you can change the batteries, you can move the plug-in. It's going to still chirp at you to let you know that it is no good.
Done.
Yes, which is nice because then it forces you to get a new one.
But you said the smoke detectors don't have an expiration date.
Smoke alarms, they have an expiration date, but they don't have the internal timer to let you know.
Oh, you just have to make sure that you look.
Because remember, we've talked a few times over different shows that, you know, smoke alarms, you've seen that yellow one that's been on your ceiling for 20 years, or I've had this.
It's all discolored.
It's all discolored, or I've had this since I moved in the house 25 years ago.
Right.
No, they need to be changed.
Change them, get new ones.
And if they don't have a date on the back, smoke alarms or carbon monoxide alarms, they are definitely expired.
Okay, what happens when the carbon monoxide alarm goes off? What do I do?
Okay, so carbon monoxide alarms sound a little different. Do you mind if I push this?
Go ahead.
We're gonna test it.
Okay, microphones. Oh.
So it's gonna go and it beeps in 4s, and there's a pause, and it's gonna beep in 4s again.
Okay.
And it's a little bit delayed, there you go. And then it'll chirp, and you know that's telling you if it keeps beeping like that in groups of 4s.
Yes.
Just like it says on the back here, 4s, 5 seconds off, 4 repeat, CO in the house.
Well, what do I do?
You get out of the house.
Get out?
Close the door. A lot of people leave the door open because they want to air the house out.
Don't do that.
Close the door because then it contains everything so that when we get there, we can locate the source of what's going on. Whereas if you ventilate the house, then all the CO leaves, and then we have a hard time finding it. So get out of the house, close the door, call 911. You can wait in your car or wait in your neighbor's house or something like that, and we'll be on our way. We'll check it out. Yeah, we have our gas meters that we go and we check all the appliances, and we'll call the appropriate technicians, you know, for furnace.
You'll do that for us?
Yeah, sure.
Aren't these guys great? Not only do they do all that, they also give you presents.
Presents on your birthday.
Okay, the other thing that I wanted to talk to you about was escape routes.
Yes.
We talked about this on the last time you and I did a thing together, but I think it's really important that you raised the point that generally when a lot of fires happen at night.
Yes, 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. statistically in Ontario. It's kind of it's, you know, North America wide.
10 p.m. to 5 a.m. And you asked me, what are most people doing between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m.? And I replied, they're sleeping.
Yeah, or partying, but most of the time sleeping.
So you're coming out of a dead sleep, your smoke alarm's going off, there's a fire in your house, there's smoke in your house. Do you think you're going to be prepared enough to get out, discombobulated, smoke, whatever? That's why you need an escape plan, right?
And you have statistically less than 3 minutes.
To get out of the house.
To get out of the house safely. And you know what? When you look at an actual working smoke alarm, a new working smoke alarm, takes about 45 seconds to activate. So you take that off of the time, so you're looking at like just over 2 minutes to get out safely. And you know, we're creatures of habit. I think I mentioned this before. Is, you know, we go the same way to work every day. We leave the same door of our house every day. You know, you're not going out different doors. So when we have a fire or panic situation, we tend to go to that familiar route just by instinct. And if that door is blocked because that's where the fire is, then panic really sets in. So that's why it's important to have, you know, an escape plan with 2 ways out, and know 2 ways out of every room, 2 ways out of the house, but only one meeting place outside, so that everyone, no matter what door or route you take, you're going to the same meeting.
So you'll know that you're all there and accounted for.
Yeah.
You can go online and get an escape. You can do, right?
Printable. Yeah, we have printable ones on our website. It's saultstmarie.ca/firesafe.
Right.
And you can go, there's printable, there's all about carbon monoxide, there's smoke alarms. We have about 30 pages of information you can spend hours reading on.
Right.
And it's all right there for you.
And that's a really cool thing to do with your family. like if you've got children, include them in the route planning.
Absolutely.
Sit down with the plan, map it out, talk about it.
There's quick YouTube videos you can get to that show you like, different ways of kind of making it fun for kids. And but the thing is, it's not just for kids. Like, it's for me, it's for you, it's for everyone. Maybe we're not gonna, push the smoke alarm and crawl on our hands and knees and go outside and, pretend like we're doing an escape plan like that, but just having a conversation.
Right.
Like say if this is a fire's here, we're gonna go here or we're gonna go here. Our meeting place is always here.
All right.
And it's everyone from 5-year-olds to 75-year-olds.
Don't you think that firefighters are great? I do. Thank you for being here. Thank you for educating us and for coming for it's Carbon Monoxide Awareness Week.
That's right.
We'll be back after this. Oh!
Yeah, it's okay.
Close the doors. Get out and close the doors. We'll be right back. Oh!
One more. There you go.
This is On TV.
In your home, lighting is just as important as style.
With PowerView Motorization from Hunter Douglas, you can schedule your shades to light up the room, create privacy, or both, automatically. No hands required.
So your shades will always be in the right place at the right time in style. And it's only from Hunter Douglas.
I just heard a really strange sound.
Me too.
It's like, is there a band here playing something? Anyway, there's music I thought it was music in my head, but we all heard it. Hey, speaking of hearing things, Aaron just, as he was leaving, we were talking about the difference between the sound of a smoke alarm and the sound of a CO2 detector.
Oh, yes.
Because the CO2 detector beeps like that, 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't assume that it's your smoke alarm losing its battery. Like, you know what I mean?
Oh, right.
So
that's
pay
a good
attention to
point.
your sounds, is what we're saying.
Make sure you know what's going on.
Exactly.
And a huge thank you to Casey's Security for sponsoring the show this morning. We'll see you tomorrow.